Aloha, everybody. Aloha, aloha Monday. Welcome to the show. Hope you guys having a great week. Uh, Pretty interesting weekend for many people. Primary election. I think a lot of people was surprised. A lot of people was happy. A lot. Hi, Lorraine. How are you, sister? I hope you're doing much better. We've been sending a lot of prayers for Lorraine, who's having some health challenges right now. So if we could all, again, as the village, say a quick prayer for Lorraine for her health and ask God to get her back healthy ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. We love you, Lorraine. Take care, man. I'm glad you're on. So, hey, thanks, you guys. Yeah. So, primary election. What a night! What a night! I think a lot of disappointments, a lot of victories, a lot of happiness, and I asked Luke Evslin to jump on tonight. He'll be on a little bit. He won't be on for long. He's got his keiki he got to take care of. So we definitely. I just wanted to chat with him a little bit. Amazing performance in the primary, and I wanted to kind of chat with him about campaigning is hard. Campaigning is so hard uh, in normal times, and it's even more difficult during COVID. Uh, so we'll have him on. He'll be on at about 7 o'clock, and then we'll talk story about whatever you guys want to talk about. But I just, first of all, I want to say thank you all, especially those of you on Kauai that voted and voted for me. I was extremely pleased with the results. Anytime, Clayton, anytime, buddy. Um, as you all know, people in the village know that I've had some health challenges in the last few months. This kidney stone's been just a pain in the okole, and it really prevented me from campaigning like I would normally campaign. We really didn't do much, um, and yet we finished number three, and that's so. It just makes me feel really good. I think I was on the council for 14 years prior, and 4 of those years as the council chair, my last 4 terms. So it's kind of like validation that the public appreciated what I tried to do for this community here. I had no clue how this thing would end up. Everyone said, "No, you don't need to worry. You don't need to worry." But I got to tell you, I was worried. I was absolutely worried because I've been out of the game for 4 years, and you know we uh, we stayed active, but not in the political arena. I wasn't on TV like the incumbents. Incumbents always have the advantage, and with COVID, you really couldn't do the face-to-face things like we used to do traditionally. So I really respect those that came up running for the first time or second time. Aloha Wally, aloha Christy, aloha everybody. Thank you so much, guys. You guys, the messages, the text, the phone calls, all the posts on my page. I cannot begin to tell you how warm I feel with all of that. And I think for those of you that know me, either personally or maybe through the village, know that there's only one motivation for me. There's only one motivation, and it's really to help our people, to give them a voice, a voice. Uh, I talked about in the last show the importance of transparency and engaging the community, and really that's what got me off the bench. That's what got me off the bench. I had retired. I had no intention of going back running for office. And as I was watching things happen, and I again, I mean no disrespect to anyone, but I'm just a realist and I'm an honest guy, and I call it like I see it. I didn't see the engagement. I didn't see the transparency that I believe the public deserves. And when I spoke to my wife about it, I told her, "So are you going to retire? We're going to move to Oregon with the kids?" She goes, "No, she's not ready to retire." I said, "Well, then I got to get back in the game. I cannot sit back on the sidelines and watch. I just cannot anymore. I'm not built that way." And we tried hard, even with this show, we tried really hard to get information out. But there's nothing like being able to bring things forward, to get the community involved in the decision making. I think many of you that have followed my political career have seen me try extremely hard, whether it was audits, to get performance audits. I could never get an audit passed. No administration or no council member supported it. I've been a proponent for audits for a very long time. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know if you saw the last roads audit that came out. It was an F, but now everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, audits are good. Audits are good." But I just want to be in the starting lineup. I want to be there to make sure that when the community has an issue or a concern, that it gets brought to the table and discussed by 7 council members who should be representing their constituents. That's all I ask. Just get it on the table, have the discussion in the public. No behind the door, behind the closed door crap. Let's get it in the open. Let's be accountable to our decisions, and let's be accountable for our opinions and our actions. That's all I ask. And that's why I went back to basics on my banners. If you see them, I don't have too many out, but by the way, if you want yard signs, if you're on Kauai and you want yard signs, shoot me a private message. Don't do it in the post here, but just shoot me a private message with your address, and we'll make sure we get you some yard signs or banners if you're in a very good strategic location. But I went back to basics: efficiency, accountability, and responsibility. That is what we started back in 1998 when I first ran unsuccessfully, and that's where we need to go back to. We need to have the community involved in the decisions that this county makes. And I just don't believe we have seen that in the last 4 years. I just haven't. I think a lot of decisions are made and executed, implemented, and then the public finds out after the fact. And that's not how government's supposed to work, right? We have the discussion in the open. We have the discussion with the community. And then those 7 representatives will vote accordingly, whether they want to listen to the community or not. But we got to give that community an opportunity to voice their concerns, and that is all I'm offering to bring back. I don't sit here and make promises that I'm going to fix every single problem. All I can promise is that your concerns will be heard. I always say, I may not be the best council member ever or the best candidate ever, but I am definitely the hardest working guy. I can assure you. Ask any of the staffers at the council building, and I don't say this to brag. I'm just telling you, that's just how I am. That's just how I'm built, and that's what I hope to continue to do. So anyway, with no further ado, I want to bring on Luke Evslin. Luke Evslin, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you, Mel? It's good to see you this morning.
Yeah, it's like my first sign holding ever this term.
Yeah.
Finally healthy enough to get out and go hold a sign. So it was quite refreshing to see out there. And I just want to say congratulations, Luke, on an amazing showing in the primary. Top vote getter. Been real busy, working super hard, both on the campaign trail as well as on the council floor. So thank you for being. I know you cannot be here long tonight. I just kind of want to have people wondering, Mel, why would you bring on an opponent? Well, I don't consider you an opponent. I am seeking a seat on the council. I'm not running against anybody. I am running for a seat on the county council. So, we can do this civilly. We can do this as friends because that's what we are. Anyway, that's kind of why I wanted you on, man, just to share a little bit about how it's been like on the council and how is campaigning. I spoke a little bit earlier about how difficult campaigning is during a pandemic, as opposed to the traditional face-to-face, belly-to-belly, house-to-house functions in public areas. How's it been? First of all, how's it been on a council, my friend? You've been working hard.
It's been a good 4-year learning experience. This is, the tail end of my second term, and it's been good. It's as you know, it's an exciting job. It can be difficult and contentious, and at council. And I think that we have had a pretty good dynamic with the group that we have. So we're able to, in a way, argue hard on the floor in a productive way. And then we walk away and, we all get along. I always think of it, it's almost like my family, my family, I can argue harder with my family than anybody else because we all love each other at the end of the day. And I feel like we got a good dynamic on the council where we can all argue hard, and all in some sense get along at the end of the day. So it's been an exciting run for the last 4 years, and I think we've done a lot and passed a lot of good, hopefully a productive policy that'll really hopefully help people on Kauai. And I am looking forward to hopefully working with you next year.
Well, definitely looking forward to that, man. I mean, we was talking about earlier how people say, "Oh, it's automatic, guaranteed, blah blah." Nothing's guaranteed, and we'll talk a little bit about voter turnout and how dismal it is for us here on Kauai. And we got to get more people out to vote. But campaigning, Luke, how difficult was it for the campaign during a pandemic? I mean, there was a lot of challenges. What was your strategy?
I unfortunately haven't done a whole lot of campaigning. I think one of the benefits of being on the job now is that just the day-to-day work of being a council member in some way is almost like campaigning, right? You're meeting people all the time. You're working with them to try and figure out ways to help them. And so in some sense, once you're on, you can campaign less. And when I first ran in 2018, and I was just busting my butt, going knocking on doors. I was doing tons of sort of like small group gatherings, and this was obviously pre-COVID, and all this was possible. But yeah, lots of like coffee hour type things at people's houses, and it was just pretty nonstop. And then in 2022 running, right, obviously everything kind of shifted to online. Everybody's kind of struggling. How do we run a campaign in the middle of the pandemic? And then now as things are easing up, it's been hard almost to transition back into that full-on campaigning mode. And I think a lot of people don't even really know, what to do. There's no candidate forums this year, strangely enough. Hopefully there will be some as we head into the general. But kind of like you, I only sign waived 3 times. Hopefully I'll start sign waving a little more as we head into the general. I hope even to maybe go knock on some doors. I really like the experience. It's hard for me to go knock on somebody's door and walk into their garage and in some sense ask them to vote for me. But when I did it a lot in 2018, it was a great experience just to meet people I might not meet in my day-to-day life, and people I think are going to be honest or brutally honest with you when you're in their garage. So I do hope to do some door knocking as we head into the general. I think you, Mel, have figured out online stuff or how to transition during a pandemic better than probably anybody, right? With this show, not to say this show is part of campaigning in any capacity, but you really figured out how to communicate online better than all of us. And I think we're all still trying to struggle and figure out how to catch up here to the online world.
Yeah. This again was by accident. This show was never intended as in fact, I was just telling the viewers that I had officially retired. I was done. And, I just needed to get off the bench. And I guess once you become a politician, it's hard to knock it, and hard to kick it. So, I plan to use this platform if I'm successful in general to keep the public informed. And I know we have a statewide audience. In fact, we have a nationwide audience. But it's an amazing platform. One thing COVID did do was open up the doors of virtual meetings, virtual discussions. More people are able to use the technologies today. So I think that helps to some extent. But for the new candidates, the candidates that don't have name recognition, my utmost respect for these people who stand up, sign that nomination form, and go out and campaign for public office. It's tough, and when you're doing it in a pandemic, and the few people that I have spoken to that are struggling in the primary, I says, you just got to work a lot harder, and I feel for them, and I tell them don't give up, because this is an unusual time. But it all starts with that first time. Not everyone's lucky to get elected the first time. I didn't win my first election, and you just got to stay involved in the community and make sure that people understand your heart, that they got to know that your heart is in the right place, and then you have a shot. Real quick, I know you cannot be on for long. I just wanted to, and again, non-scripted, non-nothing, but I put you on the spot. What do you think about term limits now that you're there? You're halfway through. Uh, it's kind of interesting, yeah, because it's a double-edged sword, especially if you're in office. Um, what are your thoughts on term limits? Because wouldn't you agree that they take your first term is learning. It's really learning the job, learning the people, learning the process, and then you get to your second term and you start to really do things, and then before you know it, man, your fourth term will be up and you're out with no choice. What are your thoughts about term limits at the local level, I should say the legislative level?
Yeah, good question. It's kind of crazy to me that I'm already almost halfway through here. Um, and exactly as you said, your first 2 years are really a learning experience to um, learn the functions of county government, learn how to develop policy, how to build the relationships necessary to pass policy, and I feel like I even in this last year, really finally I'm understanding the job well. Um, but given that I probably wouldn't have run in 2018 if you weren't terming out and Joanne was terming out, I think at the time, and Derek was stepping down to run for mayor, and it gave an opening for me and others, I think, to put our names forward in an attempt to get in. And so I'm grateful in that capacity because it gave me an opening to get on the council that I might not have otherwise had. And so even though I feel like selfishly I would like to serve more than 8 years, I am still open to the idea that maybe it's beneficial for me to step away after the 8 years, give somebody else a chance to have that open seat, and then like you, if I want to, 2 years later, I could certainly try and run again. But yeah, so I would say for now I'm still supportive of the 8 year term limit as long as you can go back after 2 years and run.
Yeah, I will say this. I think it's good after an 8 year run to go out. Um, I was never a proponent of term limits, and I always believed that the term limits belong at the ballot box, right? But after my first, well, after I reached my term limit on my second go around, I was in for 6 years. We didn't have term limits when I started back in 2002, 20 years ago. Geez. But on my second run, I did meet the 8 year term limit. And, getting out of the council and for 2 years, after the first 2 years, everyone assumed that I was just going to run again and try to get back on the council. I didn't have my heart didn't tell me. I didn't feel like I had the drive to do it. But I was really appreciating watching what was going on from the outside. Uh, and it wasn't until obviously 4 years before I decided, yeah, I think I want to get back on. So I would agree with you. I think the term limit is a good thing because it does allow uh, people to have an opportunity to serve where they may not normally have that if not for term limits. So I think I think
And I got a
so.
question for you. I mean, has being out
Okay.
for 4 years um, you know, changed you in some capacity? Has it been good to sort of take that breather and come back fully energized?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, I got wiser. I'm older, obviously. So, they say when you get older, you get wiser. I hope I'm more mellow. You just appreciate as you get older, and you'll see this as you get older, Luke. I think many of the villagers would agree that you start to see things differently. Your priorities change, and when you start seeing, my kids are in Oregon. When I look at that, it kind of frustrates me that there's nothing I can do about that as an individual. There's nothing I can do about that even as a council member. I mean, it's just we are in difficult times right now, and but you learn to appreciate different things, and uh, yeah, it's going to be interesting if I do get back in. How I handle that. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's a lot of I'm heavy into accountability. I like to ask a lot of questions, and I really like to know what's going on. I don't like surprises. I think you can agree, right, Luki? I'm sure you don't like surprises, right? Uh, so that's all I ask. And we're talking about that, about the transparency component. That we need to be super transparent with what we're trying to do, whether you're in administration or on a council. We really got to be transparent with the public so that they know what their representatives are doing, and more importantly, they need to know that they have an opportunity to be involved and be engaged, and that is really what I hope I can bring.
Yeah, when I saw you this morning sign waving and we were talking about the low turnout, and I told you that I thought it was, almost blame ourselves kind of here in that, obviously maybe we're doing something wrong in that not energizing people enough to turn out, and people feel disenfranchised. Maybe they're we're not communicating well enough about the work that we're doing, or people don't feel engaged enough in the process. So we have, this abysmal turnout. So I do feel like through mediums like this, what you're paving the way here and trying to get people really engaged and educated and informed on what's going on are really invaluable to help, right? I mean, everybody's voice is so critical. One of the surprising things about getting on council was how little testimony we get on most things. I just sort of assumed there'd be a flood of testimony on every single item, but there's really not a whole lot, right? And a couple powerful voices really can make a huge difference on any single policy item. So I do think, as you said, well, right, just figuring out ways to really help communicate and dialogue with the community better is on us.
It is, and it's also on the media. It's also on the local media. The media needs to step up and do a better job with reporting on what's going on at the historical county building, and not just report when it's done. And that's what I see as a citizen now, as a private citizen now, not as an elected official, because when you're sitting in that council, you're aware of everything that's going on, or you should be, but the public isn't. And that's where I think the media can do a better job. There was a time when there was a Gardenal reporter every single meeting, and they would report on every single meeting, and they would actually have a decent report going out to the public, so the public could be aware of what was going on. And that's not there, and I think that's something that's got to be worked on as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you brought up a very important, when you say it's on us. We're not making it engaging or interesting enough where people would want to be involved in the process. And it's not just here in Kauai, the whole state, dismal voter turnout. So it's not just Kauai. It's just, I think, it could be voter apathy. I think people just feel their voice doesn't matter. But yeah, I think we got to do a better job of somehow getting our people engaged.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I remember talking to Jan Brungate, who said back in the day it would be 3 reporters sitting in council chambers: Star Advertiser, or Honolulu Advertiser, Star Bulletin, and Garden Island all had somebody in there way back in the day. And now I do think the Garden Island, they're incredibly short-staffed, but they actually have had a presence in council chambers for the last few months, and I think they are making a big effort to cover policy more. But as you said, I've sat there banging my head against the wall so many times when you see a story that's covered and that doesn't quite accurately tell it. But I do think that they're trying to do better. And again, we all got to do better here too. So.
Yeah, Kipukai is on. And don't worry, Kipukai, we're going to get you on too. My plan is to bring on as many candidates as possible. And then we're working with Mason Chalk to do a candidate, not so much a candidate forum, but it'll be a candidate thing like we did years ago on this show. But it'd be awkward for me to run it. So I've asked Mason and possibly Joel Guy and Mina Morita will probably host it. And we'll get all the candidates at least in front of our viewers, where they will have an opportunity to share their platforms. But Kipukai is saying, we're the only county in Hawaii where just one council race where everyone runs against everyone. Very difficult for the public to compare and contrast 14 plus candidates. That is true. I mean, it's when you get a list of 19 people and you got 7 votes, and there haven't been the forums. I always send people to the Civil Beat questionnaire or any of these the chamber questionnaires, because you can find out a lot about these candidates through those means. But who has the time? Who has the time to go read up on 19 questionnaires?
Yeah, I'm teaching a a single high school civics class this year. And since the primary was coming up, I had the kids kind of fill out a mock election ballot and spent 2 periods researching candidates. They spent a good 90 minutes, and I had them vote on every race statewide that they could, and realize like in 90 minutes you can't even. You're just scratching the surface of doing research, right? If you're trying to choose between every level of office, you can't know, and it is, as you said, it's hard. Nobody's got the time to really dig in, and so as much as we can do to sort of get the word out, or putting on this forum with Mason and Joel and Mina helping, that those are all really important, I think.
Yeah, I again, I want the public to be informed. Again, people will say, "Mel, you crazy, Mel? You should be focusing on yourself." Well, I am, and I'm betting that I can convince people in this same forum. It's like I said, I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for a seat. So I just asked for one of your 7 votes. That's it. But I think an informed public will make better decisions, and we'll get the best people in office. And rather than going on there and just guessing, filling in bubbles to names that you might recognize, but you do not even know anything about the person, I think it's makes sense to at least get to know them a little bit. I always tell people, vote with your heart. Just if you feel a connection and you feel the person is sincere and genuine, then of course, rather than reading a speech, you don't want people reading a speech about what they're going to do. And I've always said, no politician can do anything alone, and you know this well. No mayor, no governor, no lieutenant governor, no council person can do anything alone. It's a team effort, and if you can get the votes, you can get your things passed. But no one can do it alone. No one can do it alone.
Yep, that's for sure.
I know you're on a time constraint, so I'll turn it over to you, Luke. And feel free to whatever you want to say, man. It's go for it.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta get my kids to bed or read a story to them in a bit. But no, thank you, Mel, for having me on. I do look forward to hopefully working with you in the next term. It's gonna be fun and exciting. Hopefully, we're gonna accomplish a lot. And my deep appreciation to everybody who did vote in this last election. Again, turnout was low, and I recognize it's asking a lot for people to go and research candidates and go through the whole process. So I really appreciate those who did. People who have questions for me, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. You can call me on my cell phone. It's on the county website is my cell phone number, 635-6623. My email address is on there too. Love to talk story or meet up or answer any questions that you might have. But yeah, thanks again, Mel. Thanks for all you do through your show here. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Luke. I wish you the best. I'm sure I'll see you on the trail. And go take care of your kids, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right. Aloha. Have a good night.
Aloha. Okay. All right. Yeah. So my goal is to get as many people on. Kipukai was on, so I just texted him if he want to come on. So I sent him the link. Yeah, we're just gonna shoot the what and have some fun. I did want to go over some numbers, because listen, folks, when we go through an election, as important as it was this year, with the governor's race, the lieutenant governor's race, some congressional seats, state representatives, I've been preaching to you folks for quite a while about the importance of voting, that we had an opportunity this time to make change. And and not that this show has a wide reach, but I was hoping that more people would have voted. What's up, Kipukai?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Oh man, you. I don't know where you stay. You Anahola.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a huge lag, but that's okay. We can see you and we can hear you. It's like a old karate kung fu movie. Remember when the lips would move and then the voice would come afterwards? But I wanted to, and thanks for joining, Kipukai, on such late notice. But congratulations again on your place in the primary. Awesome job.
Mahalo.
I'm gonna
Mahalo
share my screen. Yeah, I want to share my screen real quick because we I've been pounding about the importance of voting. And let me just show you real quick. This is the state voter turnout. 39.6% statewide. 39.6%. Kauai, 38.5%. Oahu, 40.4%. Maui, 34.8%. And the Big Island, 41%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want the minority to determine my future, not in a democratic process. So Kipukai, again, sorry, man, I just wanted to get that up there just because we got to get more people
And
out to vote. I don't know how to do it. Go ahead.
and remember that percentage of the people that are, I mean, there are more people that are eligible. We have same day actually walk in, register, and so I was telling people even to the last, walk into the center.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but we can pick you up. I just, yeah, it baffles me that we've made it so easy. We've made it so easy with the mail-in ballots. We've made it so easy. Um, I just don't know what it is. Apathy. I don't know if people just. I think maybe the ballots go out too early, so people not ready to vote because they haven't even had a chance to vet out the candidates. So they put it on the kitchen table and it sits there. I'm not sure, but somebody better figure it out because when you got the less than half of the population making the decisions for all these very important races, how you expect to see change? You won't see change. You won't see change. And not all change is bad, but I mean, gosh, when you got some major races this election, and it's I don't know what to do, man. Let me just show you Kauai real quick. 38.5% in the primary. Obviously, we hope that'll jump. Last election, 2020, was a presidential election. So, in the primary, even then, we had almost 50%. And in the general, we went, over 70%. But our numbers have been real small. I mean, 2018, 43% in the primary. 2016, 35.5%. In 2014, this is the last 5 years. I pulled up the numbers for the last 5 years. And in the general, at least we had over half of the people vote in the general over the last 5 years. But why aren't we at 70 or 80%? Why aren't we, 58%, 2018? That's the year I ran for mayor. 58% decided who their elected officials would be. That I think, I was talking to Billy DeCosta and Luke this morning. We almost got, as candidates, we almost got to run two campaigns, one for our election and one to get people out to vote.
Well, that's the same campaign, right? Is a big part. You want your, and you remember, Mal, in the old days, check the ballot, could go into the polls and see who all turned out. Oh, somebody even in your own family, but they didn't. Make sure they turn out for the general primary. Of course, the general.
I know. No, I know you're breaking up. I just want to make sure they understood. Back in the day, the candidates were allowed to go into the elections office and look at the poll books to see actually who voted and who didn't vote. So we were able to go in under supervision. We can't obviously see who voted for who, but we can see who actually voted. And the first place I grabbed the R book and I looked at the Raposos. And I was shocked to see all my cousins that said, "No, no worry, brother. Only you we had vote for." Yeah, no, you never vote. You lied. You never vote because we look at the poll book. So people gotta vote. I mean, or no complain. No complain. Kibuka, I know. I don't know if you're on Wi-Fi or you on data. Are you on Wi-Fi or?
I'm.
Okay, now you're on no-fi. You disappeared. But I was asking Luke about the campaign, during a pandemic. I mean, you've been in numerous campaigns, Kipukai, throughout the years, pre-pandemic, uh, and during a pandemic. What are the challenges that you came up? Oh, okay, we lost Kipukai. We lost Kipukai. Oh no, he's back. All right. He's in the homestead, man. He's in the homestead. Whatever happened to that sandwich owl internet that you guys were supposed to be getting all that high speed internet? You guys,
It's being taken over, right? Some bigger company.
I don't know. Yeah. So as I was saying, that the campaign, we're going to try to see if we can get through without the choppy. But how's the campaign? You've been involved in many campaigns throughout the years, pre-pandemic and now during a pandemic. How's it different?
Well, obviously it's different. Say so too. You kind of hesitate to make in-person contact because you know space and people have different levels of comfort as far. So pretty much just more of a virtual. Um, as a council member, we do get to public events and all of that, so it's an advantage, if you will. It's like Luke said too, the goal being with people one-on-one. I
Yeah,
enjoy
there's no doubt that.
waving.
Yeah, it actually
I've
shows,
done,
man.
I've done like I am
I
right.
I sign waving is like exercising. It's like it's just the worst thing to start. Every get up in the morning, it's like, oh God. But once you get out there and you start seeing the
Yeah,
faces of people and you start hearing the honks and the
yeah.
yells, sometimes you get the
And
bird. Sometimes you get the yeah. I get them. I get the bird. I got mooned once. I got one mooned once. The
oh
van, man. The slide open.
my!
Yeah, and the big okole right there. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's all good.
I didn't get
It's
the
all good.
word, but thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs
I
down
wondered
too. But the
when
bird,
when there's what yeah when there's so what did I do to make you that passionate to me so I know what your issue is and maybe that's it.
yeah. I mean, if there's an issue, pull off to the side and come talk story with the candidate. I always thought that was smart. If that's your opportunity to pull off to the side of the road and go and talk story with the candidate right there while or she's holding sign and get to talk to
Absolutely.
him face to face. I mean, I think that I think one of the things, and we've been trying to push on this show, is the importance of analyzing the candidates and getting to know the candidates before you vote. And there's many resources out there that are available. But yeah, when you look at the numbers, it's kind of upsetting, really, when you think. Well, like again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but less than half of the population is making the decisions for the entire population. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Where in some
You-
places people don't even have an option to vote.
I I am grateful that all the different and the chamber did because I did have one guy just a couple days pull over and tell me that he read about my answers to a lot of different questions. You know, people are reading it because I spend lot of time, and being thoughtful and
Yeah, believe it or not, I've read your responses. I read all the responses of all the candidates because I'm just curious. Uh, I'm a spy. I want to know what your strategies are. But I will say this: you are the most thorough respondent to those questionnaires. That by far. And
thank you.
and I don't say that because you're here. And if you don't believe me, go check it out, people. You need about 2.5 hours to get through his questionnaires, but hey, you will know everything that's on his mind and heart. but that's, to me, that's due diligence when you go out and research your candidates. It really is, and it's such an important
Yep.
part of our democracy, and people should really take it seriously. Should really take it seriously.
Absolutely.
So, Kibuka, what are you? Is this your last term coming up?
So if I'm reelected, it'll be my third consecutive.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
got it. So you okay?
So Luke and I are on the same cycle.
Who is anyone? Is this going to be anyone's last term?
No, I think not. I think Luke's would be our third, and so we would have all three of us have one more. So if we are all really reelected cycle, there was one termed out, which is unusual, I guess, but the time.
Yeah, awesome. So, what are the challenges going forward? Economy is not doing well. I know there's a debate whether or not we're in a recession. I believe we are. I see on the mainland all the prices of gas dropping a dollar. We're not seeing it here in Hawaii yet. I don't understand why. I mean, I heard all the reasons. I don't believe them. Because this is the interesting part as it relates to gas prices. When gas prices rise, right? When they get the trigger that oil prices are going to go up or have gone up, they immediately raise the rates. Wherever you go, I don't care where you're at, they immediately raise the price of gas. And then when the price of oil drops, the price of gas doesn't go down.
Not
and they tell you,
immediately.
oh, yeah, because they tell you, and this is where they're full of it. Oh, because the gas that's in our tanks were purchased at the high price of oil. Okay, but when the price went up, the gas in your tanks or the oil in your tanks was purchased at the lower cost. But you never use that up before you increase the prices. These guys are greedy and they're thieves. Think about it, right? They're using the excuse that, oh, we cannot drop the rates because the oil was a high price. So we got to use up that and we got to charge you. But when it goes up, it's immediate. They don't care about the oil that's in the tanks at a lower cost. It's wrong. It's crooked. And no one in our state or in our federal government sees it. They just say, oh, sorry, guys, just, adjust, catch the bus, ride a bike.
I thought I did hear, from the Biden them talking about, and them trying to address. I thought I heard them say one of the things that they were concerned about talking about. I guess they call it price gouge. Like you said, they're over. They feel like they can because and then the prices don't come down fast.
Yeah, I mean, they need to investigate. They need to do a federal investigation and go after these guys. I mean, I again, this is not a Democrat Republican issue. This is just an issue that, hey, after the hurricane, when that's it. You guys are allowing these corporate giants to get rich off of the shoulders of our American people who's struggling. And all you can say is, yeah, we're concerned about gouging. Well, if you're concerned, send your hounds out to go investigate.
Right.
I mean, how hard? If you have 1 million gallons that you paid $70 a barrel for, then that price should be conveyed to the public when in their gas prices. But no, they bump them up so they make money off of that, and then on the tail end, when the price drops of oil, then they're still making money off of you because now you're paying the high price. So you basically lose both ways. And I tired of hearing people tell me, yeah, we realize or we're looking into it. No, you guys need to do it. And I'm talking about the feds. I'm not talking about the county council because there's really not much the
Yeah,
county
yeah.
council can do about.
It's and clearly all federally elected officials don't like gas prices, and I think that's why too the whole thing about how they released a lot of herbs just to increase the supply, bring the prices down too. But
Yeah, I just think there's a lot more we can do as a country to ease the burden on the people. But anyway, this wasn't about national politics. This was about
yeah,
local county council, and so big issues going forward, man. What's we got affordable housing. We got a landfill that's pretty much at a crisis already. What can we look forward to? What positive things can we look forward to?
well, I think there's, and I think we are finding, and for the landfill, it has to be more immediate because Mahalo didn't work out. I believe there's been they of the current landfill. They're looking to uh, do landfill perhaps across the area, Kekaha, but end the life of the landfill by putting programs in place to deal with because construction waste takes up such a big part of it. It's always been about affordable housing. I think it affects all of us. You personally, right? Your kids have
Mm-hmm.
moved. Many people have, family up because generations grow up to live here in the place of their birth. It really is a matter of supply is just too low. For too long we were thinking have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house or that, but I think there are plenty of people out there something smaller, with less land or house, an apartment. People are willing to rent an apartment. Away. We just need a lot of different people, and I think when we up policy, and we're working on a second, I think with Adam and probably be coming out with something in a few weeks. Mainly, it'll continue to be worked on by the next county. It's important that the county alone our affordable housing problem, and it does work on. It's for the very low income, right? And you have to qualify according to HUD and all of that, adjusted medium income. We need private developers to get in the way to do that, and we've adjusted policy to not much of them when they try to, so that right, they have to make money too, right? Marketplace determines how much developer will do based on their ability to. The tricky part is that and I think in Hanamalu it was fair where the new subdivision has mostly local people that bought those homes. When homes are bought by people from outside a home, then that defeats the purpose. Yeah, we're trying to look at different ways. There's the American can't discriminate. If you use it for residents and someone immediately say my driver's license, declare their resident, but somebody living away might be a resident. And then the other program has helping people, and so at least if we get people go, that means they will have been here a little bit, 3 months, 6 months or something like that. All hands on deck. We need everybody trying part because Hawaiian homes. I've been pushing for a while too with our State Community Development Corporation. Long has looked at Hawaiian homes as something they've only been giving out this too slowly and only 2 wait lists at a time. But we're Hawaiians ourselves as our association, our own organizations. We can build affordable rent. We can lease them out, rent them out if we want to, right? Because most of our friends, a lot of our need that. Our kupuna need that too. A smaller afford and maybe turn their house over to their with all the kids and everything. On Hawaiian homelands, we have to take advantage of Purpose by Prince Kuhio, which is not the pastoral, the agricultural, but also such as business. So why can't 50% Hawaiians be land? And so we are actually proposing a project right here behind our marketplace. That can come through 6 months to a year. Everyone has to participate separately. Place for our kids, home.
Yeah, I think we really got to change the focus on our local families. I'm talking from the state, the feds, the state to the counties. We got to really start focusing on our local families. Affordable housing. That term is tossed around all over the place, and for some people,
yeah,
they believe that $600,000 is affordable, right? They call it, or you might want to call it workforce housing, gap housing. But the fact of the matter is that $600,000 is simply not affordable, and
right.
you will not have an opportunity to provide truly affordable housing if we don't partner with developers that know how to do it, number one, and provide them the incentives. You cannot expect, and you know this, Kipukai, because you've been in this thing a long time, you cannot expect a developer to put out affordable housing. And I'm talking about affordable housing developers. I'm not talking about resort developers that are forced to build affordable housing. I'm talking about partnering with developers that only do affordable housing. They have all the financing models. They have everything in place. They know how to do it. But we got to provide them land. We got to provide them infrastructure. The county and the state got to commit to making this happen. And then the other thing is all of these speculation buyers, these investors that are coming down and sweeping up the inventory. Yeah, there's nothing we can. I don't say how can you stop the sale of property to mainland people? You cannot. But what you can do is these vacant homes that are purchased by these mainland people cash, sight unseen, and they're just going to roll it. They're going to flip it. They're not even going to rent it out. They may try to sneak and get a vacation rental going or whatever. But on these properties that are vacant, that they have no intention of renting to a local family, you tax their pants off of them. You tax them. And you make it so unattractive that they go buy somewhere else, like Texas or wherever else they get these booming real estate markets. Because we're not helping. Every time we allow one of these people to come in and purchase for investment speculation purposes, that's one house that our local family cannot move into. And that is where I think the county can do a better job and say, hey, we are going to charge your ass if you don't put that house into our local market. We're going to charge you. We're going to make it so unattractive. And if you want to pay the extra $30,000 a year, then it's fine, because we can use that as leverage into our affordable housing fund. But we allow these people to come in and just buying up inventory. I see it right here in the Wailua house lots. right here in the Wailo house lots, and I see these homes that are vacant. Um, well, they're vacant because they're not paying their fair share, and they're because remember now the impact is not the fact that they're buying a house and not renting them out; it's they're removing inventory. So one family is living with another family crowding up, or they're on the beach, and that is where we got to get serious. We just got to get strict, and let the realtors and all these people get upset. Boo hoo, tough. Right now, the focus needs to shift from business to local families. I think that's where, and I'm not saying just this county, the state, the state. I hear some of the proposals coming from some of the candidates running for governor saying, yeah, we like build an ecotourism market. Oh, we like build one medical tourism market. Well, how about building a local family market? How about doing a local family market? How about focusing your energies on putting our damn families in homes rather than start thinking about how we can bring more tourists for eco or health? No, come on, guys. You guys don't get tired seeing the homeless people on the sidewalks of Oahu or Hanamalu Beach or Kilia Beach? Or the focus is, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The focus is the local family.
Yeah, absolutely right. When you talk about that are being used for other, remember, and right before tiers bill, which will structure in place property tax, and maybe it'll get finished this term or maybe it'll term, but basically what will happen is then council will have the ability to and to tax like but whatever residential investor and vacation rentals that are high levels. So have different rates, but like in the second million, I'm just making up numbers here, and the time will come where it can make the decision to say, this is what we value that these, we want to stop, basically. We're going to tax, incentivize it, that pop, and some of those homes will go back into long-term market where people, for purchase. And the ones that are going to be in vacation rental and residential paying significantly more invested into our fund for more. There's a lot of potential development down the county now acquired that 400 acre in Waimea, and we all know that Limo time in the making, but it's finally coming on of different units, single family housing, apartments, housing, a lot of different parts of that project, and they're all money too. Yeah, so us investment fund will continue to be. That was a big vote. Yeah, that to give the voters a chance to do the debt.
Yeah, well,
you need that low level, and you need even.
Yeah, you're breaking up quite a bit now. I'm not sure why, but the money, the programs, the way we spend these monies, I think the whole attitude needs to change. I think we really gotta, again, grasp these partners that focus on building affordable housing. We lost an opportunity, and I'm still bitter about this one. Right there next to Kintaro, that affordable housing project, and the county decided. The administration decided not to repurchase those units. Big mistake, huge mistake. So what happened was they all went market. We kicked out a lot of local families. that was an opportunity. And that's why I say Kipukai. Sometimes I wonder what is the true priority of this
Right.
county. Is it really affordable housing, or is it just, there comes a point where all the energy, but it has to be put into programs that work. And there are programs that work. And the ones that can make that happen are these private nonprofit developers that have the mechanisms in place to benefit from the federal programs and the tax incentives, tax breaks, tax credits, so they can make it happen and turn these properties over to local families at an affordable rate. Absent that, we're not. You're going to be turning out houses that are 500, 600, 700,000. And yeah, you satisfy one part of the inventory, but the ones that are needing it the most are being left behind.
Yeah, it's not a priority if you're only budgeting to.
Yeah, like really. I mean, and again, it takes a commitment, yeah, from the administration to say, hey, we're gonna put up. But again, you can throw $100 million, but if what you're throwing the $100 million to is not working, it's not producing, then you go look for another way to do it, right? And again, this last 4 years, I've been meeting with different nonprofit developers that I hope I can get back on and we can share some of their expertise and hopefully convince the administration to at least take a look at it, because we haven't put out many. I mean, the units that are being built today are projects that have been approved decades ago. It's like yeah, we're building them finally, but we haven't seen any new, and we need to be cranking out these units by the thousands.
Yeah.
And so
Faster.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward, man. I hope I get the chance to work with you, bro, next term.
I hope I get
I
to
really
work
do.
with you. Yeah.
We'll get you back on when you get better internet, because thank God you speak slow enough that we could kind of make out what you were trying to say. But we definitely want to get you back on. We're going to have all the candidates on. I was explaining to Luke that Mason Chalk and Joe Guy and possibly Mina Morita will be hosting the council candidate forum for us, so I don't have to do it. And then so I can actually participate. But I'll be bringing on all the candidates like this, talk story about whatever, before the structured meet the candidate thing. So
Right.
I want to thank you, my man. Thank you, but we'll get you back on when your Wi-Fi is better.
Okay.
Okay, man. Take care. I'll see you on the trail. All right. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that impromptu with Kipukai and Luke. Hope it was some benefit. Yeah, I think, folks, it's time. It's time just to get serious about affordable housing. I mean, I think it's time to really step on the gas and start again. As I said, focus on the local families. And find the people that know how to do it. They're out there, and you cannot just throw money at things that are not working. And we really got to find those developers. They are. I can tell you right now. I know people on Oahu that do this. That's all they do, and they do it well. Stanford Carr. There's all these developers. That's what they do, but they're not going to come to Kauai to develop, because why? Because our planning process, our permitting process, everything else it costs them money. You cannot expect these people to give charity. Yeah, they gotta the balance sheet has to work. So, if the county is serious about building affordable housing for the local families, then they got to incentivize it. You cannot regulate it to the point where it doesn't it doesn't work. And that is what we got to do. And that's what the council needs to do. And the administration needs to do, and start looking at, you have these guys, they're not going to build rubbish. The inspectors are still going to go by. They're still going to do inspections, but you just got to expedite the permitting for these projects. Put the big projects on hold. Make them wait 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. And let's focus on the affordable housing. When I say affordable, I mean truly affordable, not 700 grand, not 600 grand. That's not affordable. That's workforce. That's market, really. We're very close to market. You want truly affordable housing, with a, you know, my son bought a house, one job, one income in Oregon, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. And they can do that. You cannot do that here. There's no way, unless you come from money, unless you get land, unless you get house, no. And again, the whole mindset gotta shift. And everybody else gotta hang tight while we focus on the local families. And that's what we need to do. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed yourselves tonight. Guys, Wednesday night we'll have Dr. Tim Brown and Lee Altenberg back for their report. And then we're going to rally up. I try to get Duke Ayon on. I really want to hear from Duke. I really like Duke. I've known Duke for about 20 years. I've worked with him when he was the lieutenant governor. So I sent him out an email today, and I'm hoping we can get him on. I mean, I think you guys already know how I feel about the governor's race. I cannot support Josh Green. I just cannot. And, apologize to any Green supporters out there right now, but we gotta try something different. And I really want to hear Duke in his platform. So we'll try to get him on. Any other candidates that want to come on our platform and share their ideas, we take them all. I always said, me, I vote for the person. I don't vote for the party. I think anyone that just votes party line is not doing a good service to their community, because it just, I think we have to focus on who the best person is to represent us. I really don't care what party they come from. I don't. And I know, again, I'm going to probably ruffle some feathers because get some hardcore Democrats, some hardcore Republicans. But at the end of the day, we should be finding or looking for the candidate that will best serve the people of Hawaii. And right now, as you just heard, my focus is on the local family. I don't care about ecotourism. I don't care about flying in all these elderly rich people to get their medical treatment here. I don't. That's not what we need right now. We have enough tourists. That's not what we need right now. We need all hands on deck to put our families in homes. That's what we need. I don't buy all this other crap about, trust me, I'm a business guy. I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. But I also am a human that cares about our local people. And it sickens me when I hear all the talk about how we're going to boost tourism and how we're going to improve tourism and how we're going to improve airports and how we're going to improve. And they say this as they're driving past the homeless on the sidewalks of Oahu and even on Kauai and on Maui and on the Big Island. And they can turn a blind eye to that and make the press releases about, we're expanding this airport, or we're putting more gates, or we're paving the parking lot at the airport. In the peak season, Department of Transportation, peak season, we're going to close off 40 or 60 stalls for the local people during peak season. I mean, come on, guys. Priorities. Get it straight. It's never a money issue, people. It's simply a priority issue. And it's time we hold our leaders accountable to that. And it all starts at the ballot box. So it is what it is, guys. I try to bring the candidates out to you. And you guys make your decisions. But I can tell you, I ain't voting for Josh. I'm not. And Duke gonna have to he's gonna have to come on the show and convince me to vote for him. But anyway, Guys, I love you guys. Wednesday night, Lee Altenberg, Tim Brown. Appreciate you guys so much. And again, thank you for all the kind words, messages, whether it was from my hospital stay or for my campaign election results. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate. And Patsy appreciates you all too. All right. You guys take care. Stay safe. God bless. I love you guys.